So in this video I'm going to show you how to service your Scribe disc rear hub. So quite an easy system to work with. First thing you need to do is get two cone spanners, 17mm ends, and they just slide on each end of the axle, and you pretty much just rotate that anti-clockwise and your disc end cap will come right off. And then from here we just remove this completely, set to the side, and our axle system comes out towards the drive side, so the full thing slides out that way and it exposes your ratchet plate on the inside and obviously your ratchet disc inside the free hub body itself. So we're just going to set this free hub body to the side for the meantime, just to show you how to swap the bearings out in the hub shell. So from here we got our ratchet plate tool, and it pretty much, as you can see, matches the inner side, and we just loosen that anti-clockwise. It shouldn't be that tight. I freed it for the purposes of this video, but you pretty much just screw that anti-clockwise and it will rotate right out like so. And as you can see, we have a dust cover on the inside just to try and protect prevent any of the elements getting in around the bearing. So we just stick that inside the ratchet plate for the meantime. And as you can see, we have our bearing on the drive side and we have our bearing on the disc side, which is currently still protected by our CIRCLIP seal. So to remove that, get a pair of CIRCLIP bars, just grab the two anchor points, squeeze together and just pull the seal out, so it does sit in a small groove on the inner side of the shell there. From here, doesn't really matter which bearing you press out first, but you can see there's a sleeve in the inner side. So the best way to press the bearings out is to push the sleeve to one side, and what that will do is it will expose the edge of the far bearing. So we want to get a drift or a punch of some sort, and we want to start tapping those bearings out. And the way I normally do it is in a plus sign, so top, bottom, left, right, or so on, something like that. So if we just get our punch and our hammer, and we're just going to move that out of the way to allow us to punch the edge of the bearing. Put that on the ground and we're just going to start tapping that. So that should be our bearing. One more. Those are bearing outs. And as you can see, this is our sleeve on the inside, which just keeps the spacing right between the bearings. And then to get the far bearing out, we just do the same. Swap the hub shell over and then punch it out again in the plus sign. That one came out easy enough. And as you can see, this is our empty shell now, and our bearings are free. So to replace the bearings, we pretty much just reverse that process. So what you want to do is get some grease, and you just want to put a thin film just where the bearing will actually seat on both sides. And then you get your new bearings and you put it into the place where the bearing is going to go, and just feed it in a tiny bit just to make sure it is going in at the right angle. And then what you want to do is get your tools and start getting them ready to press the bearing in. So we have these tools specially made for our bearings just to make sure everything's aligned, but it pretty much just makes sure that the bearings punch in straight the whole way through. And we're just going to tap the bearings into place until they seat. and you will notice a change in sound whenever you're tapping them in. So that is it, solid tap. That is one bearing in, and just make sure the bearing is actually seated in it and is flush with the outside edge of its housing. Flip the hub shell over, put the spacer in, get your other bearing. The red side always faces outwards if you're using the endurance bearings. If you're using the non-contact bearings, the EZOs, it doesn't matter which side you use, but this red seal is the protective one for to keep the elements out. And then we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to get our tools, slide them right through the axle system, and then tap the bearing into place again. So this one needs a bit more. So that is it seated. Just give it a quick check, and then I always spin the hub shell just to make sure everything is working fine. And then the last thing we do for the hub shell is put the ratchet plate back into place again. So make sure our dust seal is inside the plate, and then screw this back into place, and then give it a good tighten. And then the last thing we want to do is put in our disc side seal. So we pretty much just put that into place, get our circlip pliers, and give that a squeeze, push in the far side, and then release the circlips, and then just give that a quick spin just to make sure everything is rotating as it should do. And that is your hub shell bearings replaced.